start. Welcome everyone on a Solarity webinar. Today with topic of energy storage solutions, which we prepared together with the manufacturer Solax. Important to mention that this webinar, the original version is in English, but it will be also simultaneously interpreted to Czech, Polish, and Hungarian by our colleagues. So please let me introduce myself. My name is Nikola Ernic. I work as a sales representative mostly for Southeastern Europe, and we will be hosts of this webinar together with my colleague Kostek Litvak, who's our technical manager. I will present the first part, which is the brief introduction of Solarity, and the second technical part, which is focused on the main topic of the webinar, will be presented by Kostek. Also, there will be the local interpreters into various local languages. Our colleague Daniel Kovac from technical support for Hungarian, Wojciech Kamiński, sales representative for Poland for Polish interpretation, and Canko Borisov, sales representative for Czech, Slovakia, and Bulgaria, and he will be as a Czech interpreter today. So in case you are interested in one of those, let's say local language variants, just switch the channel, and you can listen the Hungarian, Polish, or Czech translation simultaneously. Okay, and we can move forward to today's agenda. The whole webinar will held around or approximately 1 hour, maybe less, but please reserve at least 1 hour for it. First part, as I already mentioned, a brief introduction of Solarity, what we are doing, who we are basically, and what values and services we can provide. Second part, necessity of energy storage solution systems in general. Then third, specific solutions from Solax in this field. Fourth part, sizing, assembling, and commissioning of Solax ESS systems. Fifth part about Solax monitoring. And in the last part, you will have an opportunity, and this is important to mention, that during the whole presentation, you have a chance to place any questions. If you are interested in any topic, please just place the question in questions and answers section. You can see it in the row below or over the in the bottom part of the screen. So just place the question here. If you are not familiar in English, feel free to place it in your local language. Some of our colleagues will translate it, and all those questions will be answered in the end of the webinar. Okay, and now we can start with the presentation of Solarity itself. Our main motto is your solar partner, and mean into various fields. Just a brief story behind the company. Solarity started as an EPC installer in Czech Republic back in 2009, but times on the Czech market then were quite turbulent. So basically, market grew significantly in 1 or 2 years, then went almost to zero. So there was a question what to do else, and Solarity basically focused on for distribution of photovoltaic material, not only in Czech Republic but mostly in other countries of Central Europe. And basically in upcoming 10 years we grow up to recognize international distributor with wide portfolio, good availability, and sales and activities in various countries, not just in Europe, but also in other regions, as you will see. Again, just some basic numbers or brief numbers. We are delivering constantly 200 or more than 250 megawatt a year to more than 30 countries. And as employees or employees of Solarity are of the more than 10 various nationalities. We also have offices in, the main headquarters is located in Prague, but we have our office also in Budapest, in Kiev, also in Warsaw, in Poland, in Amman, Jordan, Dubai, and we also newly opened our own office in Morocco, in Casablanca. Again, our main idea is that we are giving you an opportunity to focus on your business fully, and we will take care of the rest. So it's not just the supply of the material, but also some kind of constant negotiations with manufacturers, selection of goods you will most probably use. I mean, we are not able to have everything, but we are trying to help you also with this phase of pre-selection. So we are taking products which we can secure for whose we can secure the quality, some reasonable price and availability. At the same time, we are able to provide the various logistic solution and also some alternatives regarding financing and so many other benefits. So the main idea is that you are focusing just on the installation, projection, and working on site, and we are taking care about the rest, about all the story behind. There are some points I already mentioned, except of logistic solutions and availability. There are also various and regular trainings. In the end, you are the participants for one of them. We are trying to provide local technical support and share our technical know-how, also not only in Prague but also in our local offices. And to our loyal partners, we are offering the partner program with various benefits and additional discounts. So we are trying to support you in long-term perspective as well. Again, I briefly mentioned our presence in various countries. Here you can see it clearly on the map. Again, the main headquarters is located in Prague, Czech Republic, but we have our offices also in now already in 6 other countries, and we are serving or operating also in more than 40 other countries, in which we are not locally presented, but we have a good availability and good connection with the clients. Again, regarding our portfolio, we only choose products that make customers happy, or we at least try to. So we are pre-selecting the goods or products which are easy to sell, easy to install, and with proven performance. Again, I'm mentioning we cannot have everything in our stock, we cannot have everything in our portfolio. It's not even worthy, but we are trying to select this kind of goods and these types which will fit your requirements and for whom we can provide the good availability. And here's some brief overview of our partners or of the brands in our portfolio regarding modules. It's mostly Canadian solar, but also Jinko, Q-Cells, and Phonosolar. Regarding inverters, SolarEdge, Fronius, SMA, Huawei, Solax, Daigo as an alternative for optimizers, and also FEMER. And regarding mounting structures, we are cooperating mostly with K2 systems, which we also keep in stock. And we have also various solutions for ESS and other accessories like cables, connectors, and so on. So we are able to basically help you with all the complete DC part of the installation for both residential and project offers, including modules, inverters, ESS solutions, batteries, EV charging, mounting system, and other accessories, and same for project offers. We are also able, as I mentioned on the previous slides, help you with some additional services such as financing, some specific logistics solutions. And for our long-term partners, we are also able to provide much more favorable conditions and additional discounts. So again, we are ending with some other motto of our company, your solar partner, not just for the sunny days, because all of us experience some, tricky periods, especially this year regarding availability, price increase, and so on. So no one can promise that every day will be, sunny and beautiful. But we are dealing and always trying to find some reasonable solution for our clients. Even the situation is not ideal, let's say. So we are slowly going to another poll, and this is it from me. So thank you for your attendance, and there will follow the second part hosted by my colleague Kostek, which will be focused on the main topic of this webinar, and that's the Solax ESS solution. So thank you once again, and have a nice experience.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Nicola, for the introduction. I will share my screen with you guys now. Screen with my presentation. Just hold a second. And yeah, sorry. Okay. Okay. Okay, I hope that you see my screen now. And it's loading. Okay, and before starting the presentation, I would like also to launch the poll. That will be your experience with the energy storage solutions. So, sorry. Yes, solutions. I will launch the poll. Okay, so there is, you can select which solution to use. Have you experienced before? It can be Victron, Huawei, SolarEdge, Fronius, Solax, the other brand, or if you never experienced with the solar ISS solar storage systems, you can just put that you never had experience, which is actually not, it's okay because it's relatively new solutions, and we just see the demand on the market. So let's wait a couple of seconds more, and I will finish the poll. So as you see that the majority of the participants never had experience with the energy storage systems, which is good for us, because I hope that after this session you will learn new things for you. And I see that, I see that some of participants already use Solax. Good, so maybe you will also find something new for you. Right. So if you're in the solar business for a couple of years, you could notice that in the last, not decades, but in last years, the price of the systems for the price of the device for the energy systems actually are way cheaper. Comparing to, for example, to even to 2005, where the price dropped, I think, 3 times. So even with the price expansion of 2021, still solar energy is the cheapest way of the production of power. It's even cheaper than the coal. But the solar energy is just the 3% of the of produced world energy, and there are a couple of reasons. First of all, we have the highest yield of the solar energy is the time where we don't need it. For example, imagine that you are an owner of the household. At 7 a.m. you wake up, you do your breakfast, and at 8 a.m. you leave your household to work, and you come back at 5 p.m. And actually from 8 or from 9 till 5 is the highest yield of the energy production, which we don't use, is the first reason. And the second one is the grid disbalance. There are a lot of installations, solar installations right now especially, for example, in California. And if we will see that the demand, the total demand of the electricity, it increased from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. But from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., there is the production of solar energy. So it actually makes the demand lower for the total electricity. And in the end, actually at 7 p.m., when there is no chance of producing the solar energy and there is a huge demand for the electricity, the power plants has to supply this extra demand to the grid, which makes the grid, first of all, disbalance. And from the second point of view, it's also not economically beneficial for the power plant because, for example, nuclear power plant or coal power plant, they are economically beneficial when they are working constantly. That's why the obvious solution is to storage this extra energy which were produced during the day and to use it when we really need it. And for this purpose, we use the energy storage solutions. A lot of people are asking how to design, how to size the storage solution. Well, based on my experience, the best way you need to take into account two criteria. First of all, the first criteria is the total installed of the PV system on your roof or on your ground. For example, if you have 10 kilowatts of your installed PV solar system, means that you need to that the most ideal, the most perfect size, the most perfect capacity of the solar storage system is 10 kilowatts. So ratio is 1 to 1. Please don't oversize it, because sometimes people think that they can oversize it twice or even 3 times and they can storage more. Please remember that, for example, in winter, the solar system is not that efficient as in summertime. For example, in winter, from 10 kilowatt installation, you can get in best way maybe 3 kilowatts, and you need to make sure that the storage system, that the battery should be charged at the same level, at a certain level, because the batteries, they don't like to be uncharged. So please make sure that they will be charged. And the second thing is, of course, based on your requirements. So take into consideration two targets for design the capacity of your storage system. We add Solax to our portfolio because we, first of all, Solax, how in general, how to identify, how to read the names. X1 means that it's a single phase solution, and X3, it means that this is 3-phase solution. G4 means that it's 4th generation of the hybrid systems. Before it was G3, so G4, it's the 4th generation. And for the single phase systems, there are different size of the inverters. That can be 3-phase, 3.7, 5 kilowatts, 6 kilowatts, and 7.5 kilowatts. Letter D and letter M in the end means that the system can be used with Matebox or without the Matebox. I will tell you later about this device, about the Matebox. So M in the end means that the system will use the Matebox, and D, it means that the system won't require the Matebox. And for 3-phase solution, we have system size for 5 kilowatts, for 6 kilowatts, 8 kilowatts, 10 kilowatts, 12 kilowatts, and 15 kilowatts. And the same, the system can be used with Matebox and without Matebox as well. Why we decided to add Solax to our portfolio? It's not a secret that nowadays installers, they don't have a lot of experience with the installation of the storage systems. As you could see during the poll, right, 50% never had experience, and it's fine. We selected Solax because, first of all, it's super easy to install. It looks like, first of all, it's really light. It's, for example, the inverter, it weighs around 22-35 kilos. The battery unit, it weighs 33 units, and it has its own hangers, so you can hang it on. One person is enough. I did it myself. I'm not John Cena, and it was not complicated for me. The BMS unit, it weighs just 7.5 kilos, and the Matebox, it weighs just 10 kilos. And it's even easier to assemble than assembling your desk from IKEA. It's actually the Lego concept when you put bricks on the top together, and the same with the energy storage system, which I will explain you later. Of course, you can oversize the system. For three-phase system, it can be oversized to 150%. And for the single-phase solution, it can be oversized to 133%. The maximum DC input current is 14 amperes, and the maximum discharge current is 30 amperes. People usually like to oversize the system, right? But without the energy storage system, it doesn't make much sense, because the extra energy will be always screened. Like you see on the diagram on the right, that the extra energy, this oversizing of the system, that will be creamed, so the energy will be wasted. But with the energy storage system, the extra energy is oversizing, right? We can always storage inside the battery system. So for this case, in this case, oversizing really makes sense. Of course, why we cooperate with Solax, because of design, and because it can operate in, I would say, extreme temperatures. So the inverter can be operated from -35 degrees to +60 degrees Celsius. And the energy storage bank, it can be operated at the temperature -30 degrees Celsius. Of course, it won't be operated in Siberia, in outdoors, but for sure it can operate in Poland, in Hungary, in Lithuania, in Ukraine, just to make sure that the system should be shaded. So you have to avoid the direct influence of rain or ultraviolet. And beside this, the system can be located outside, and it will work. Perfectly. I was talking previously about the Matebox. What is the component actually? This Matebox. It's kind of an electrical box where you keep all the necessary electrical equipment, such as breakers, a DC switch, BPDT device, current transformer, or current meter, and energy meter. And all these components are already prepared inside these Matebox. I will show you later how it looks like. I will show you later photos. But first of all, I want you to be aware about this equipment. And of course, sometimes customers, they already have pre-assembled electric box ready on site, so they don't require the Matebox. So you give the flexibility of the choice for the customer. They can select with Matebox or they can select without the Matebox solution. But from my perspective, from my point of view, I think Matebox really makes the installation process easier comparing to the solution without the Matebox, because it's the matter of the connection of the right wires to required terminals. That's all. And if you are new in this business, I think you should start with the Matebox, because it's really, it will really simplify the connection and assembling of your energy storage system. So what is inside the Matebox? There are two types of Matebox. That can be Matebox for the single phase system and for the three-phase installation. The Matebox for the single phase installation consists of a DPDT device, which calls also EPC box, and I will tell you later what the device is using for. It consists of current transformer. It can be also with meter. It's the optional just for the single phase solution. It consists of circuit breakers, RCD device, and the DC switch. So DPDT device, or we call it EPC box, we use it to make sure that installation will work properly during the blackout. So if you have a power outage, this device ensures the energy supply of all your facility, not just one electrical circuit, right? But the entire power of your entire facility. It's electromagnetic device. In the internet, it says that it integrates two contactors which provide power steering for users. So actually, it switches the circuits between inverter circuit and between the battery circuit. So if you want your system to work during the blackout, during the power outage, this device is critical. That's how it looks like, the Matebox. Always you will have the wiring diagram on the cover lid of the Matebox, and how it looks like inside. So you see this DPDT device. You can also find the required breaker as the battery breaker, as the AC breaker, also the DC switch, and the ground bar for the ground wires. And there's also the Matebox for three-phase installation. In this case, meter is required because current transformer and in general meter is the eyes and the ears of your energy storage system. It measures how much energy the system supplies to the grid, supplies back to the grid. And if for the single phase solution, the energy, the current transformer is enough because it measures just the current. So for the three-phase solution, you need to measure also the voltage, and the energy meter measures the voltage. And it also includes circuit breakers, RCDs, and the DC switch. Matebox for the three-phase solution is obviously bigger because it requires more space to install all the required device, and but it's still not heavy. It's just 7.5 kilos, and it can operates in in extreme temperature from -25 to +60 degrees. So it can be located as well outside together with the energy storage system and with the hybrid inverter. So as you see, as I mentioned before, the Matebox is a little bit bigger. You can find here the energy meter. DPDT device is also bigger because it's the three-phase solution. And so, of course, that should be same equipment as the battery breaker, the AC breaker, and the DC switch. And it's how this Matebox looks actually from the kitchen, right? It's the single phase. It's the Matebox for the single phase installation, where you can find here the DPDT device. You can see the current transformer. We call it also sometimes we call it meter, and we see all the required disconnects, like it's for batteries or the DC disconnect, and also all the connectors for the DC strings. So let's move to the most important part of our presentation. It's about the battery system. As I mentioned before, it's super easy to assemble them. So it looks like the Lego bricks, right? You put the batteries on the top of each other. So what the system consists of? It consists of the base, which is coming with the BMS module. The base, we use it just to level the system, because not always, not on the construction, sorry, you have the leveled floor. On the top, you put the battery pack, and on the top of that, you put the BMS module. BMS, it means battery management system, which ensures the communication of the battery pack with the inverter. If you need to expand your system more, right, because the capacity of this system is 3 kilowatt hours. And if you want to expand it more, you just need to put on the top extra battery. So it will give you in total 6 kilowatts hour. Like in this case, you see, you put on the top 2 batteries, which gives you in total 6 kilowatts hour. And we also have some solution from the previous generation, from generation 3, but it's also compatible with the hybrid inverter of the 4th generation. It's bigger batteries, as you see. It's a 5.8 kilowatt hour. And the solution is a little bit different, because before we had the Matebox, we had the BMS unit, and we have the battery. In this case, we have the master and slave battery. So master battery already has the BMS unit inside. And in this case, you cannot install this battery outdoor. That should be installed indoor. If we are talking, of course, about Polish market, or Hungarian, or the Baltics. Regarding like Morocco or Jordan, it can be located outdoors, but it cannot be operated with below 0 temperatures. It can be installed on the wall or on the ground, depending upon the conditions on site. And yeah, you can obviously connect the batteries, right? These T-Bath 3.0 and T-Bath 5.8 batteries. For the 3-phase systems, that can be connected from 2 to 4 pieces, which will give you the maximum capacity for 23 kilowatts hour for T-Bath 5.8 solution, or 12 kilowatts hour for a triple battery 3.0 solution. And for the single phase installation, that can be connected from 1 to 3 pieces. So you need to make sure that if you are installing the TPAth 5.8 battery, it means that there should be, if it's just one unit, it should be the master unit, right? And if you have like 2 units, that should be master slave, like here, for example. For the single phase solution, that can be connected maximum 3 pieces, which will give you to 17.5 kilowatt hour capacity. And for the 3-phase hybrid solution, that can be connected up to 4 pieces, which will give you the total capacity of 23.2 kilowatt hours capacity. Sometimes there are questions if we actually connect more than 4 batteries together. The answer, yes. You can connect maximum 8 batteries, which will give you the total capacity of 46.4 kilowatts hour capacity for the 3-phase solution. For single phase solution, you can connect 6 batteries. What you need to make sure, you need to make sure to connect the same number of batteries to each side. As you see here, it's connected 3 and 3. So you cannot connect, for example, 2 and 3, 2 and 4. So that should be equal numbers, like 2 and 2, maybe, well, 2 and 2 you don't need, but 3 and 3 or 4 and 4. And it's compatible with generation 4 hybrid inverters. So yeah, as I mentioned before, you can connect up to 8 batteries, and this device calls parallel BMS box. And when you connect, once again, when you connect the batteries, you don't need to connect master and slave. You just connect slave batteries, because the master unit is here, this parallel BMS box. Wiring. Of course, you have to wire the installation, the energy storage system. So there are 2 types of wire. There is the communication wire. It's to communicate between the units and between the inverter. And there are also the power cables. When you order 1 or 2 boxes, 2 battery boxes, you don't need to order extra wires. But if you order 3 or 4 boxes, you need to buy extra wires. And on our webpage, there is the description that when you order 3 or 4 boxes, you have to order the extra accessory. You just need to click on the required buttons, and you will order the wires. So it's a power cable, it's communication cable, and it's the installation brackets with all the required bolts and screws. Of course, there are different work modes for the energy storage systems. And the most popular one is the self-use mode. It's when you have your household, for example, and you leave your household to work or somewhere else, you can always select the self-use mode. So all the energy which produced by the PV, by your PV installation, it will be charged your battery. So all this energy will be stored in your storage system. And after that, after you get back home, you will use this storage energy for your needs just to cover your loads. Also, there is a feed-in priority. It's not popular in Poland and in Europe, but it's popular, for example, in Philippines and the other Asian countries, where you sell the extra energy. So extra energy to the grid or to the utility. But as I mentioned before, it's not popular in the European countries. And there's also the backup mode. Sometimes when you have the summer house, or you live in the area where you have when the power outage happens often, you can put the backup mode. So it means that your batteries will be always charged at a certain level. So you can select that your batteries should be charged up to 50%, and it won't be discharged less. So when there is a power outage, you will have enough power inside the battery to supply your loads. And of course, there is the off-grid system, off-grid mode. It's actually when there is the system is charged from panels. So there is no connection to the grid. And let's talk about the commissioning of the system. First of all, you need to log in. You need to create your account on Solax Cloud, and it's super easy. In order to register your system, you need to provide the serial number from the barcode of your Wi-Fi dongle. It's unique solution from Solax because in case of the other inverters, there is the barcode is located on the inverter, right? But in case of Solax, this barcode is located on the dongle. So after providing the information from the barcode, you will also need to provide information about your site, about your installation, where is it located, and yeah, it is. And after that, you log in once again, and you see the access to your system. So you see how your battery, the level of charge for your battery, right? You see also the production of like the AC power of the inverter. You can also monitor your device, for example, the battery, what is the voltage of the battery, the changing of the voltage from different hours, or for example, the battery capacity, or for example, the battery power. So you have this access, and this access maintains for years. So you don't need to pay extra money to have the access like to the history of your system, right? Of the parameters of your system. And yeah, if you have any questions now, you can ask now at the Q&A session. You can also you can also reach out to us. We will send you the recording of the webinar to your email. And of course, we will share this presentation with you after. So yeah, if you have any questions now, please ask. In the Q&A session or in the chat session. So okay, I see that already. What is the opinion extending the battery system later and install the system? For example, we decided 4 years ago. Okay, so also if you already installed the system, right? If you have the existing system, there is the unit which calls a retrofit, or it calls fit in like in Solax naming. and you can always connect it to the existing system. But it will be there will be some challenges with the cooperation with the existing inverter, but you will always have your storage, and it will be storage from the batteries, sorry, from the panels. And but during, for example, the power outage in the, for example, in the day, when there is still, when the sun is still shining, you won't have this possibility of this like the backup supply from the panels. That will be the backup supply from your battery, because in case of the Solax solution, if there is a power outage, first of all, that will be supply from the PV installation, and next, when they want if they want to cover your demand, if they want to cover your loads, that will be supplied from the battery system. But in case of retrofit, that will be supplied just from the energy storage system. But yeah, there is the solution that you can add this. You can add your storage system to already existing installation, and it shouldn't be Solax. It can be Fronius, it can be Solar Edge. It doesn't matter. Are the Solax inverters now is in the list accepted inverters for Estonian grid company? I don't, to be honest, I don't know now, but I know that we already sold some of the solutions to Estonian market. So if you can just send me your if you will just send me your details, right, like email, I will double check and I will ensure. But as I remember, I prepared the Solax project for Estonian market. What ratio BV battery is recommended? What? Well, as I mentioned before, it's a 1-to-1, right? It's based on is based on my experience. It's when you have installed 10 kilowatts installation on the roof, you have to size your battery at 10 kilowatts hour. Of course, that can be like a little bit less, like 8 kilowatts, right? But just don't oversize your system. It doesn't make sense, because in the winter time, it will never feel, it will even never feel this like 10 kilowatts, right? But also no, like 30, just no chance, no chance. Hello, can you tell me more time how to size the battery for PV? Okay, I already replied that if you have 10 kilowatts installation, just make sure that you have like 10 kilowatts hour. If you don't have, for example, maybe the funds for 10 kilowatts hour battery, you can install, for example, 6 kilowatts, and you can also you can also see your demand, right? How much you need. If you need less, if you need 6 kilowatts, you can install like 6 kilowatts hour. If you want to expand later your system with the EV charger for your EV vehicle, you can add extra the battery pack, right? So, but just don't oversize. Okay, Simi, I will reply to you on your email regarding the Estonian grid system, if we can use it. But I know that it's compatible with the European grid types. Okay, I see in the question in Hungarian. Unfortunately, I don't know Hungarian, just Szia, Konstantin vagyok, Örvendek, and that's also, I think our sales reps from Hungary will translate, and or maybe they will answer you in your native language in Hungarian. And the same with Czech. I don't know. Okay, I see that it's also translated to English. if I use the second string for G4 inverter to connect panels from one direct, then I can the first string of inventory to be used to connect two strings of panels from two direction in parallel. For example, east-west is a connection possible, so I'll use the optimizers. I mean, it's Jan Schwander, right? So I see that it's you need to pay attention on it's I don't know if it's related to the energy storage system, but let me try to answer you. Inventory to connect panels from one direct, and I will in general, actually without using the optimizer. Well, it can be okay for Jan Schwander. That can be, you don't need to use optimizers, right? But you just need to make sure that yeah, this depending upon the MPPT, and it makes it you need to make sure that the start voltage of the start working voltage for your inverter is enough, because east-west, it depends upon the number of the panels, it depends upon a lot of criteria. So if you can just send me your project, the details of your project, I can verify it, because of course it's east-west is like, it's tricky a little bit. So yes, it's tricky a little bit comparing to south. But if you have enough number of panels, it will work. But you need to make sure to ensure this minimum voltage to make the system start working, make the system start operating. Okay. Is there a specific list despite the fact it's compatible? Well, there are a lot of confirmation of commodity, declarations of commodity, and I think they are all for the they are suitable for the European market. Mirek, our technical support guy, he for sure he will provide all the required certificates, and yeah, I think it will be enough for like 99%, I'm sure. But yeah, Mirek will double confirm with you. He's the specialist despite the fact, yeah. Okay, so yeah, I will I see that there are no more questions. Thanks a lot once again. We will send you the record of this webinar to your email. You will also receive your presentation. And if you have any questions, you can reach out to our sales reps, or you can reach out to me, or we can design the system for you, and we can prepare the quote and UM for which will match your requirements. So from my side is all. Thank you for the attendance. Hope that you learned new things for you. For sure, it's not the last webinar about the Solax solution and about the energy storage solutions. And we hope to see you at the next webinars. Have a great day. It's almost Friday, and it's almost holidays.